TV.
Would you ever have a projector in there, or just like a really
projectors are so shit, bro.
You don't like projectors?
I'm a firm projector hater. I just think they often look like shit. They never look as good as a screen.
Yeah, I think like back then it made sense to have a projector. You know, before like the big TVs you could buy now, but now you can get TVs the same size as a projector.
And they're like £4 for some reason.
Yeah, and they're like
you can buy a
cheap.
70-inch TV for like $50.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but like they're so cheap.
They are
You're
cheap,
not exaggerating. I worked at Circuit City, which is a electronics store in America when I was in college, and HD TVs had just come out. Like,
oh, wait, they're expensive.
Wow.
First of all, I had never seen something so beautiful in my entire life. And they always had like the same ads running of like the French Open. So you see like the clay.
Or like fucking fish.
Yeah.
Well, back then it was just like 4 minutes of the same reused footage.
Right.
And I would just sit there and I would upsell it to everybody. And this was when plasma TV still had like severe burn-in.
Yeah.
So they would tell you, you know, this can only last for like 8 months to 2 years if you're lucky or whatever. Some of those TVs were over $8,000 or $9,000, and they weren't even that big. This monitor's bigger than some of those TVs back then.
Right.
And we would still have to sell the Sony Trinitron Mega Bobegas that were at least 850 pounds. Like you cannot lift them.
Yeah.
And I think that now when you go to McDonald's, they're like, do you want a free LCD screen with that? And you're like, sure. What do I? They're like, cool, it's like 42
Yeah, the Happy
inch
Meal
if
is
you
just a
get-
16-inch LED.
You know, because the TVs now, they're like loaded with ads and they collect your data and stuff like that. And that's kind of like the trade-off. But you know what? I'm like, sure.
Yeah,
God, the
fuck it.
TV's fucking cheap as fuck.
Yeah.
Like a 55-inch, like 4K TV, like a nice one, is like $500, $800.
Yeah, not
it's
even
crazy.
sometimes.
Yeah.
God, do you think TVs are being over-engineered now?
No, they're shit. They're shit.
I bought a new TV.
They're like the worst parts of a PC in a display.
Okay, why?
They're so slow.
I don't know if this is default on every TV, but I've like on every modern TV that I've had so far, the default setting is to have this dog shit auto smoothing on everything. I don't know why that's like the auto setting, right?
Have you seen the subreddits? There's like subreddits dedicated to this, to like calibrating your TV perfectly. And they all get in arguments about how to calibrate your TV perfectly. It's so intense.
Yeah, and then I was I had a new we had a new TV. And I didn't know this was a setting because this is the first time I've seen this setting. But this TV had a default setting to like auto adjust the volume, so it's like at a constant level, right?
Like a compressor?
Like a compressor.
What the fuck?
So I was watching this anime. I was watching like Solo Leveling. This was like a while ago, and I was like, why are the hype scenes so dog shit? They really fucked up on their like audio mixing in this, because when the music would go loud, suddenly like something hype would happen, and then like the music would be like, and I'm like, I'm not hype at all, and then I realized it was the fucking TV like artificially compressing the fucking volume, and I was just like, this is dog shit. Why is this a feature of the TV?
Have you seen that some streaming services now offer dialogue boost to films and TV shows?
No.
Because have you not noticed that like this is a big complaint in the past couple of years, is that when you watch a movie at home, especially a movie that was in theaters, it's mixed for the theater, where the music is quite loud and the dialogue is a lot quieter. So when you're watching on your TV, like this the volume mixing is it's so fucking loud and you can't hear anyone saying, so you boost it, and then the moment there's an explosion, you're like, fuck him.
Yep.
So
I feel like it's always been that way though.
That's been that way since the dawn of television.
Oh yeah, maybe it's just TV speakers.
It's always been the movie industry. You're like, I can't hear a damn thing, and then they're like, to Rohan, you're like, and then bullets and gunshots.
Oh my god, yeah. When you have to constantly, like, if it's an action movie, you're like down, the shooting, turn it down. All right, the shooting's over. They're talking again. Put the volume back up. You're like, oh my god.
So maybe they have it almost right, but they did it the wrong way.
They did it the wrong way.
But I guess if you're compressing the audio in general, the dialogue is still going to be even quieter if you're compressing it.
Exactly. It's I don't know.
Get down.
It's it didn't address the problem at all.
Well, yeah, but so you guys, how old? You guys bought HD TVs your whole life then, pretty much?
No.
Okay, so you did have
We
to.
had a Trinitron growing up.
Okay.
I kind of like had the very fast track 360 to 720 with the SCART thing. Do you remember the thing where you plug?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're the Xbox and you could plug in the cables directly, but then they had that thing, that like chunky ass horrible thing that wouldn't go in smoothly into the TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The really stabby thing. Type in SCART. Cable. This thing was diabolical.
I remember this.
This fucking thing.
These things.
I hate this thing. Would never, and it would never go in your TV smoothly.
My dad has like 5 cardboard.
And then this was like I
PC
think
cables,
I think this was like 480. I think was it? I think, and then
480.
Yeah, and then the first HD was 720.
Yeah,
because I remember a bunch of DVDs that you used to buy back then were only 720p. They'd be like HD.
Yeah,
we used to buy DVDs.
Yeah, we used to buy DVDs, and then it very quickly became 1080p. Quite fast, I think. It felt like it was for me at least. I don't know if it actually was. Maybe you can tell me because you were probably there in excruciating.
Well, when we got 1080p, no, I think it was. I mean, it felt like a natural progression because the jump was so seismic that 1080 to 720, whatever, it was fine. But yeah, it's those are days gone by.
I mean, it feels
4K,
seismic. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I'm like 1080 versus 4K. I'm like, I notice it, but definitely not that much.
I mean, 1080 to 720 was a very big leap. Like when you watch a 720 thing, you're like, it's kind of blurry.
Yeah,
but 1080p is okay.
Yeah, 1080.
4K is much better. Just
No, 4K definitely looks better, but definitely like the jump is just like, okay, if I watch something in 1080 versus 4K, I'm not gonna, my eyes aren't gonna be like, holy shit, this is like back to the Stone Ages, you know what I mean? But when you watch something in 360p and you're like, okay, now there is like a big
like, I'm
definite
blind
difference.
apparently.
I am actually watching Minecraft right now.
Yeah, classic YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder how I mean, it's weird to go back and think about it, but at the time, a 27-inch TV was enormous. You know, that was a massive television.
Yeah.
And I found this old photo of me playing games with my friend, and I posted it on Twitter, and we're still sitting cross-legged with like the cords, you know, the corded controllers.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I those were simpler times, but hey man, now I can, like you said, we can download a Steam game in 6 seconds and never play it again. Pay full price, but be like, oh, someday I'll get to that. It's gonna be sick. It's a different
Saving
era.
it for retirement.
yeah.
Like, I think it's like you mentioned earlier, I think gaming is at an amazing point where these indie developers are making some of the coolest and most interesting experiences that we never would have gotten. You know, you would never get some of these games made now.
No,
so
certainly not.
Like
Yeah.
you'd never get I hate to bring it up, Fear and Hunger.
Some of the games of the years for you then?
Yeah, that's what, you kind of asked me that earlier, and I think it's shameful to say because I can't really enjoy games the same anymore, and I'm not complaining about my job. It's just a different feeling.
What games have you played this year then?
I think I calculated I did 70 games this year, so like on stream, and
Right.
I think
Do you play games off stream still?
not really, just shamefully Diablo 2, which I still have been playing since the year 2000. But
He still hasn't gotten a single drop.
I'm working on it. I'm working on a thing called a Holy Grail, which is finding every item in the game.
Oh my God.
20 years later, I'm not even close, but I think I got 76% done. But the thing about this year in gaming, I think my perception of gaming has shifted as a streamer. Now my favorite experiences have been things like when I replayed Phoenix Wright or these games that have a lot of kind of community, like I'm having fun playing it with the viewers, as opposed to like, that is the best game I've played this year. Like Elden Ring DLC was unquestionably a fantastic experience. Balatro is such a great like gameplay loop, but Dragon Quest 3 probably is. I nearly committed channel playing that through, but it was so much fun.
How long was that?
Well, I did 3 streams of 11 hours each, and so
That's not too bad.
well, I'm getting up there. It's I think it took me about 45 hours of gameplay time.
It wasn't as bad as Baldur's Gate.
That was probably the worst experience, and it was fun, but we didn't even.
Yeah,
finish.
viewers are very bad at watching long games, mainly because no one viewer can watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you're going to miss out, and then you already are losing like a portion of people that see the RPG layout and are like, ew, I'm good. So you're already like, it's an uphill battle, and then you got to just kind of, if you stream it too often, then people are like, why is he still playing this game? I don't want to. It's just like watching Ludwig play League of Legends. It's like I don't want to fucking watch this guy play.
Yeah,
It's miserable.
And it's tough because I think what I found has worked for me, because I still love all those games.
Yeah.
And it's not even a viewer fault. It's just, it makes total sense. Like, you don't know where they're at in the
It's
story.
like a viewer experience. You cannot provide the same like 1 or 2 hour experience some games can provide over a 33-hour period. Like you know.
So I do like 2 days of the game that if I'm really excited about it and I say, hey, there it is. If you guys thought that was really awesome, you can go ahead and finish it on your own. And I got a great experience out of it. And but we're gonna have to move on just because, you know,
So did you find yourself finishing less games?
Oh yes. Yes. And as a completionist, that is an absolutely horrible feeling.
Yeah.
How far did you get in Metaphor?
This is so shameful. It was like I basically finished the tutorial and then some. And you're talking to the guy who like loves Persona. Started with number 1 back on the PlayStation, played through all 5, and I really want to play that game, but it's Planet Talk. You know, that's all it is. You go and you talk endlessly to people.
Yeah.
They told me it's a visual novel disguised as an RPG.
That's all the Persona since 3.
That's all the Personas.
I mean, like, I have the opposite problem where I won't start a game if I know I can't beat it, but that just automatically rules out like these amazing games like Metaphor and.
Oh no, dude! The amount of cutscenes in Metaphor, like I think you'll actually want to. Because you can't skip these either. Because that's the whole point of the game.
Persona 5, I was getting driven to the brink on those.
Yeah, and you only played it for an hour.
Like an hour, and I was like, this is fucked up. I've touched the controller 3 times, and one of them I got lost in Shibuya. And I was like, this is evil.
Yeah.
This is evil because this is like, Shibuya was easier to navigate in real life than in Persona.
Yeah.
That's great. What a great game. Yeah. Goated. That's a game of the year. I don't care when it came out.
Oh my God.
No, but those games are so great though. And it's tough. Games
But you can't stream those.
Nah, I mean, I try to do a thing that's like 70-30, right? I try to do 70% stuff where I really keep in mind the viewer experience.
Yeah.
And then 30% of the time I'm like, you know, I got to do this for me. And I want
This is one for me.
Well, it's like I have so many
One for
games.
you, one for me.
Yeah, one for you, one for me.
6 for them, 1 for me. And I'm in a very, very obviously lucky situation where I get to also go on adventures with him, and I got to go see you at the Parco building, and I get to kind of spice things up to remind the viewer, like, hey, you know, we're still doing other fun stuff.
We would do stuff. We guys.
I got outside.
Yeah, and then we're going back to Monkey Island, and you know, so it's that kind of ratio. But I've loved it. I've never been happier. This has been. I've done more stuff in the past year in my life than collectively, I think, 40 years cumulative. It's crazy.